Welcome back, guys. This is episode 23 of the Seeing Red MMA podcast here. UFC Fight Night Vegas 72 literally just ended seconds ago. Thought I'd hop on here so I could watch the bare knuckle fights in time to watch Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold throw down, along with Chad Mendes and Eddie Alvarez, along with some other fun fights on that card. But we're going to be talking about Song Yadong's epic performance he just had over Ricky Simone here. It literally just ended, so it's super fresh in the mind right here. Song Yadong gets the 5th round TKO against a very tough fighter, Ricky Simone there. I mean, the boxing was on point the whole fight there. I mean, from the start of the first round, it was kind of slow, but then as the fight started progressing, and Song Yadong, he was using his teep kick as more of a jab to kind of gauge the range as far as how far away he was from Ricky in that fight there. And he was able to gauge how close he was, and then able to see if he was able to get those shots in that he was looking to land, which he finally did, because, man, that left hook was money. I mean, there was a couple of head clashes there that were controversial as well, too. So, I mean, it sucks that he had to have those controversial head clashes, but, I mean, it's a fight. It's going to happen. Excuse me. Not a sponsor, but if they want to, Michelob, if you're watching, and I know you are. But, great fight. I mean, went pretty much a minute into the 5th round there. I mean, at the end of that 4th round, literally with seconds left on the clock, Yadong tags Ricky and kind of stuns him there and just freezes him up, drops him to the canvas, and then started that 5th round, just picked up right where we left off there, hit him with that check left hook, froze him again, followed him to the ground, finished him off with strikes there. I mean, it was an amazing performance by Song Yadong. His first time actually making it to the 5th round, because last time he was scheduled for 5 rounds was against Corey Sandhagen, and we all know that the fight got stopped early because of that gnarly cut over his eyebrow there. But, I mean, Ricky did have some moments as well, too. I was just so surprised by Song Yadong's takedown defense. I mean, he was able to shuck him off as he pleased there. I mean, there was maybe like one time where he got caught up there, and it's because he was caught coming in, and then he kind of had to defend it from there. But, I mean, as a whole, I'm very impressed with Song Yadong's takedown defense. I mean, his boxing was on point. His kicks were looking really good, throwing those heavy leg kicks, that left high kick, turning it into a spinning wheel kick as well, too. I mean, Song Yadong is a real deal, man. And you get a win like that over a tough guy like Ricky Simone. I mean, Ricky's now 20-4 in his professional career and only ranked number 10. That's kind of an underrated record for a guy that's ranked number 10 in that division. So that just goes to show how absolutely stacked bantamweight is currently at the moment. Now, I know Song Yadong did call out 2 people. He called for a rematch with Chito Vera, which I'm down for. I think that's a great fight. One coming off a loss, one coming off a win. Number 8 versus like number 6 or something like that. I think that's a perfect fight. He also called out Sean O'Malley, which I think he does bad things to Sean. I think he beats up Sean a little bit. But who knows? I mean, Sean did get the better of Peter Yan in some people's eyes. Maybe not mine, but still. But a fight I want to see Song Yadong against Peter Yan, Rob Font. Give him those 2 guys. One's coming off a loss to the number 1 contender, Merab. The other one's coming off a resurgence victory over Adrian Yanez there. Either one of those fights can propel Song Yadong to the top 5 of that division if he were to get a win over either one of those. But, man, Song Yadong came, he showed up, and he showed out. It was a phenomenal performance by Song Yadong there. Just to kind of go over quickly some of the other fights here. I still don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I mean, I heard it when they did the introduction, but Caio Borralho versus Michael Olazashik. 2nd round submission for Borralho there. He did get the choke at the pretty much halfway point of the 2nd round. But in this case here, Borralho did have to face some adversity going into that 2nd round there, because that 1st round, Olazashik wasn't giving much room to breathe. I mean, he was going at it, kind of having to pick his shots really well. I mean, he was in the fight, don't get me wrong, on the feet, but, I mean, definitely his victory, or his way to victory was on the ground there, which is what he did. But he's finally got a finish in the UFC as well, too, so congratulations to him. Another guy who kind of faced some adversity and was able to get the comeback win, Rodolfo Vieira versus Cody Brundage. Adolfo Vieira comes back after getting knocked down in that fight there to submit Cody Brundage with an arm triangle. Kind of confusing there because Cody Brundage got stuck in the arm triangle and then gave up his back and then went back to getting put in the arm triangle. Like, he put himself back in there, which I was a little confused about. I didn't quite understand, but who am I? But big win for Rodolfo, especially because he took a really big shot that was slipped right past the guard here. Was able to sneak right in and catch him on the chin. Good win for Rodolfo. He really needed that one as well, too, because he was going to be on not a great losing streak at the moment. Fernando Padilla, I mean, regardless what you think of the stoppage, if it was early or if it was justified, I thought it maybe a tad bit early, but I mean, the way that Arosa was hurt, I mean, Arosa was going to go out if he took any more shots, especially the way that Padilla was throwing him. Gets the first round TKO, drops him against the fence, gets back up, then gets dropped again. Padilla, that's his UFC debut. Very, very, very stellar performance by him. Excited to see what he brings to that featherweight division, being a tall, lengthy guy like him. Not only that, we had one of the weirder fights on the card, Marcos Rogerio de Lima versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Lima won a 3-round decision there. I mean, which the odds reflected that. He was a minus 190. I mean, he was the favorite going into the fight, being the more experienced guy between the two of them. But yeah, I mean, he really kind of, the story of that fight was the leg kicks there, because, I mean, we've all known, if you've watched Acosta's kind of previous fights, he was susceptible to the leg kicks, didn't really know what to do to defend them or anything like that, and kind of just ate them as a way of defending them. And then maybe if you threw a leg kick and he got hit with one, he knew you were close enough to land a strike. So that was pretty much Acosta's game plan there. But, I mean, it was back and forth there a couple of times there. I think Rogerio just should have not wrestled and just went for the finish on the feet there. I think that would have served him more dividends than the way he was trying to fight. But to open up the main card, Josh Quinlan gets a decision loss against the newcomer Trey Waters there. And, man, I did not know anything about Trey Waters coming into this fight, but it's a tall man. That is a tall fellow. He's really long. He knows how to, like, just hang and lean over his knee. He wasn't necessarily leaning over his knee. He had his chin completely parallel to his knee, which gave him enough space to lean back, being the taller fighter. But he did this weird thing where, let's say you're in orthodox stance and the punch is coming, he would kind of take his left leg, move it backwards just slightly, twist, and then come over the top of your shot with like a drop down overhand right. Not even an overhand right, like a dropping down straight right, which I thought was beautiful. It was landing pretty much the entire fight there. I mean, definitely deserved the decision win. To end the prelims, Jake Collier versus Martin Buday. Just another heavyweight slobber knocker. If you watch that fight, you know what I'm talking about. Cody Durden wins a unanimous decision over Charles Johnson there. A lot of bad blood going into that fight there, so it was good to see Charles Johnson going in there. And I mean, he was defending the takedowns decently well, but once Durden had the back and got that body triangle in, it was hard to get Durden off of him, which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, Durden's such a prolific wrestler. I mean, that's his bread and butter. I mean, he's got the tattoo. I forget what it's called. It's like the NCAA tattoo or something like that. I don't know. It's the America logo with the suplex on it. But big win for Cody, especially with the bad blood going into that. Now, you might have saw her leading up to the fights here, because she seemed to piss a lot of people off. Irina Aleskiev wins her UFC debut, misses weight by 4 pounds, still flexes on the scale, gets a knee bar submission win over Stephanie Edger, or Egger, however you say it, and then proceeds to Billy Struck around the cage. So I don't think she'll have a lot of fans as she kind of grows into the UFC. I mean, if she can make weight again, she might be one of those anti-heroes where people love to hate her, because, I mean, she does kind of have one of those looks and one of those personalities where you're just like, I hope she loses. But, I mean, she came out guns blazing there. I mean, got caught a couple times, not necessarily hurt, but when it got to the ground, she was able to snatch up that leg and go straight for the knee bar. So that was it's a big victory for her, especially with all the controversy surrounding her weight miss and everything like that. But also, This is the fight, if you remember me talking about, that I was super excited about. Journey Newsom versus Marcus the Maniac McGee. Took this fight on 3 days' notice. Catch weight of 140 pounds. Goes out there. Definitely wins the first round there. I mean, was piecing him up, winning on the feet, peppering him with jabs and big shots here and there. Controlling the distance between the two of them as well, too. Second round, comes out there, drops him with the straight left, falls him to the ground, gets the rear naked choke victory. I was extremely, extremely happy to see that. I was literally at the barber shop. If you can see through the hat, I mean, I did get a haircut here today, so I was at the barber shop watching it on my phone, waiting, like just watching, waiting to get my haircut, and luckily the fight was over before I got called, because as soon as the fight was over, I got called to my seat, so I had enough time to go, Arizona boys on the map. Arizona boys on the map. So that felt really good because I talked a lot about him leading up into the fight there. I thought he had very high potential to do very good things in this fight, especially in the UFC, because, I mean, the guy has a 100% finishing rate. This is his first submission win in his professional career as well, too. Usually he's a knockout artist, but, I mean, the submission came from the knockdown, so it's not straying too far from home, but at the same time, though, nice to see a new wrinkle in Marcus's game there. But, man, messaged him right away on Instagram. Marcus, if you're watching this, and I know that you are, super proud of you, man. Keep the Arizona boys on top. Can't wait to see you in the UFC again, get a full training camp as well, too, and see what kind of vicious things you can do the rest of this division. Because, I mean, Journey Newsom, I know he's at his up and downs in the division, but, I mean, he's UFC caliber. He's definitely UFC caliber there. But, yeah, Marcus just seemed to be too much. He was really big, too. I mean, he was a lot taller than him. Was able to kind of keep the range, throw those long shots, whether if there's kicks, jabs, and everything like that. But, man, I love to see Marcus on top. Let's go, Marcus. Might be your biggest fan right now. Maybe besides your family. I don't know. Who cares? I've had a couple of these. Opening fight on the card. Haley Cohen versus Jamie Lynn Horth. It's a women's fight. Jamie Lynn Horth was landing some of the better kicks there, especially to the body, bringing them up top to the head. But, yeah, Haley Cohen just kept her hands down way too low and was just getting caught left and right. I mean, definitely deserving of the unanimous decision for Horth there. But I'd like to see Haley Cohen maybe get another shot. But based off that performance, I wasn't super impressed. But who am I? I'm just a guy on his apartment patio talking some shit. But, man, the story of this night was Song Yadong's boxing. Song Yadong's boxing is nasty. It is nasty. I fear for the next person that has to fight Song Yadong, what they're going to have to deal with, because, man, that guy has got confidence, he's got power, he's got speed, he's so in shape. He did not gas once in that entire fight. If anything, I maybe saw Ricky breathing a little hard on the stools there in between rounds, which we all know Ricky as, like, the cardio king next to Marab. But still, I mean, Song Yadong's a problem, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, give him a Peter Yan or Rob Font, Cheeto Vera, Sugar Sean, whatever you want. Keep him away. I know they're teammates, but, man, it'd be so fucked up to put him against a guy like Cody. God, I know Cody's booked against Mario Batista, another Arizona boy. I'm sorry, Cody. I got to root for Batista on this one. Arizona on top right now. But, man, Song Yadong is just so nasty, dude. I can't wait to see him fight next. I'm such a fan. Barallo, I know, called out Derek Brunson as well, too. I'd like to see that fight because I know it's kind of changing of the guard there. You got a guy who's super young in his career there, his first finish in the UFC, going against the veteran of the UFC who's been there, who's done that, who's fought pretty much the top echelon of that division. I would love to see that fight happen there. And honestly, you could give Rodolfo Vieira Olszewski if you really wanted to. Give him another striker or a guy that does throw heavy hands, see how he does against that. But they might pair Rodolfo up with someone that maybe suits his style a little bit more. Julian Erosa, I don't know what you do with him, man. I mean, it's been a tough road for Julian. He's kind of been a staple of that division. He's a fun fighter to watch, but, man, it sucks when you see fighters you like get stopped like that, especially when it's a little early as well, too. But I don't want to see that guy hurt. I want to see him to live the fight another day. I don't want to see him with CTE or anything like that. So, Yeah, it's one of those things. It's bittersweet. I'm glad he didn't get hurt, but I'm also wish I saw him fight a little bit more. Maybe something might have changed, but probably not. That's pretty much it. I tried to do this one pretty quickly here so I could get in there, watch the bare knuckle fight. Um, I'm not going to do a video on the bare knuckle one because I just want to enjoy that one, sit there, and not have to worry about making a video for that. But I am very excited. My prediction in the bare knuckle, if you happen to care, I know this is an MMA podcast, but there are some former MMA fighters on the card. I got Mike Perry winning. I got Chad winning. I got Ben Rothwell winning. Those are my 3 picks. I tried seeing if I could bet on DraftKings, but nah, it's not on there. So I don't know if they're regulated yet to be on sports betting apps, but either way, I mean, good night of fights for the UFC. We'll see how BKFC does right now. Might actually be on currently, so I'll have to get in there, but I'll get this video trimmed up and out to you guys. But make sure to like and subscribe if you like the videos. Follow me on Twitter at SeeingRedMMA, and remember, you guys have yourself a great rest of your day. Till next time, peace.